Hello, this is my first Friday wrap as mayor, which still feels a little on the weird side. I'm still not quite sure if I'm ready to be called mayor all the time, but if you happen to see me on the street, Mayor Mickey works, or just Mickey. This was a great week, starting with last Friday night. There was a Lincoln Day dinner held in Oakbrook, the Oakbrook Marriott, sponsored by the DuPage County Republican Organization, which is led by their chairman, Darlene Rossetti, and Vice Chairman Brian Krajewski, who you may also know as being the chairman of the Downers Grove Township Republicans. Present were some of the gubernatorial hopefuls like Kirk Dillard, Dion Rutherford, Bruce Rauner, Bill Brady, and even Bob Brogan was there, who was running for treasurer, and probably 800 other politicians like Roger Clare of Bolingbrook, and patriots like Mr. Jack Rozier, and many, many more. Monday was my official swearing-in ceremony, as it was for all the trustees. This ceremony had as many peaks and valleys as the campaign itself. As I said then, I'll say now, you have to be careful what you wish for. Sworn in were trustees Diane Bolus, Guy Francis, and Janet Grasso. Then there was me. There were special guests there, many of them. One was a friend of mine by the name of Judge Ann Jorgensen, along with her husband. And even the village president of Oakbrook was able to make it, named Gopal Lalmalani. Plus, I had a brother and sister fly in from out of town, as well as my best friend, Raj Ambe, flew in from Florida, and probably 100 friends and neighbors and supporters. It was an emotional night, and I was glad that it was finally there. I kind of came and went pretty quickly, but something I look forward to for a very long time. As I've said before, I want to run for office since I was 10 years old, but it wasn't until recently that it was the right timing. There were also two residents who took the microphone to criticize me on my first night, pointing out that 53% of the people didn't vote for me. Of course, what they didn't say was that it was a huge margin in such a local election, and that I got actually 22% more votes than second place and won 7 out of the 11 precincts. As one person who was related to a famous Chicago politician that I know said just last night, he said, what your opponents did was tasteless and worse than Chicago-style politics. He said it was sad and poisonous, and the only thing they hurt were their fellow residents. But I had a lot of aha moments. If there was one thing that the board meeting did do for me, it was to convince me even further of the village's need to be more resident-focused and business-friendly. One of my opponent's supporters, though, gave me some great advice. Stand up for yourself. Maybe I will. Here's a message to my detractors. I forgive you. The election is over, and let's focus on the future. This picture you're seeing right now is a fitting door hanger that I saw this morning at the dentist's office, reading, "Never let yesterday use up today." Tuesday and Wednesday, the week had already turned. I was able to attend the DuPage Mayor Managers Conference in Springfield, where I spent time with many mayors from Villa Park and Woodridge and even Naperville's retiring mayor, George Pradle, who was really an icon in his own right, and it was just such a pleasure to be able to brainstorm with him and learn from him. There also had a chance to meet a lot of old friends, and State Senators Christine Radogno, Michael Conley, Kirk Dillard, Jim Oberweis I was able to run into, who I've run into many times over the years, and ran to Ray LaHood running up the steps in the Capitol building. It was great to see him again. Also got to see some state reps, Patty Bellock, of course, from Hinsdale, Jim Durkin, who is our state representative for Burr Ridge, Ron Sandak, and left messages for Mary Flowers. It was Monique Davis, of course, on the south side, and Kimberly Lightford. I was also able to stop by the governor's office, which we needed to do because of a very important email we got this week that might threaten or delay the timing of the bridge being redone over I-55. It was also pretty neat to stay at the Abraham Lincoln Hotel and Conference Center, which of course I'm always very comfortable to stay at. In other business, I was able to keep my first office hours this week at the Village Hall, which are Thursdays from 1 to 5, and it was pretty full, but by all means, please stop by if you can, or call ahead to schedule an appointment if you can. Some other great news, Pulte Builders is wanting to build a Savoy Club 2, and by buying some property from the village, which you'll hear more about in the very near future. And there's a developer looking to build, check this out, 2 new hotels in Burr Ridge which you'll also be hearing about more very soon. And actually, I'm going to a meeting right about now to get to hear more information about that. Remember, tomorrow is Armed Forces Day at the event. That's going to be held at the Veterans Memorial. This is our 3rd annual one. It'll kick off at 10 a.m. tomorrow with a flyover, which I'm amazed that one of the residents and business owners, John Moskowitz, was able to coordinate, of course, weather permitting. On a personal note, last weekend we had about 60 people over our house for my daughter's prom pictures. It's also kind of a sad way. This week was my daughter's last day of high school. That's also pretty amazing. Those 18 years flew past. It was because she will be going away to college next year that my wife told me that was great timing to run for mayor. But she also reminded me that I wasn't getting any younger. Well, that's part of the good timing, I guess. Well, I'm of course Mayor Mickey, and I love Burr Ridge. It is truly a very special place to live, work, dine, and shop. Thanks so much for joining me.